the Red Cross truck. It said the sound stopped. They made a fast exit and never came back. Never did forget that. It was brutal over there. It really was.
Oh, I no doubt. And again, that was the first of many unconstitutional conflicts that people just chose to you know what, police action, not a bad idea. Okay, all right. And look, we're still stuck there. They say
the Justice Department won't run with anything anymore. There is no justice. The courts are bogus. The judges are embarrassments.
That's right.
The only thing left is what Patrick Henry did and some of the others during the Revolutionary War. Get your guns. That's the only thing that's going to turn this around. And between now and then, there's a lot more crap going to come at us. They're going to do everything in the book to divert us and take our mind off and make it difficult for us to survive. That's what they do with the money system and the taxation. They turn the valve one way and turn it the other way. They put extra burdens on the people so they don't revolt.
Yep, you're right. Jim from Amarillo, you're back on the air. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, you guys are just talking about all the things that gets under my saddle blanket.
It's not on purpose. I'm telling you
right
now.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I've been listening. I don't know. I discovered this deal quite a while ago and tried to get it. Finally, I got it through the Griff and found out how to get on here live. I just been listening to them on YouTube. But now I want to tell you, I'm even older than Griff, if you don't know the truth.
74.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody's pushing silver and gold.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people get really hurt in that deal because the guys on Wall Street are doing exactly what they did back in the late 70s when the Hunt brothers were buying up silver and they had the backing of some of these Saudi Arabias, and they were driving this silver price up, and the brokers on Wall Street were shorting it, and all of a sudden they had them kind of like changing the rules in a football game at halftime. They all got together one morning and decided, hey, you can't buy any more silver unless they're just getting out of their short position. Because they were, way back there in the late 70s, some of those guys were $80 million in the hole on their short position, so they changed the rules. Well, you wouldn't think somebody with $5 billion back then could have went broke, but they broke the Hunt brothers because they destroyed that silver market.
Jim, weren't the Hunt brothers trying to introduce a new currency? Wasn't that their ultimate motive, I think?
Oh, they were just kind of trying to corner the silver market.
Yeah. And boy, man, I'll tell you what, you're absolutely right. They changed the rules on them, and look what happened.
That's the middle of the game, and that's exactly what's going to do now because I've been doing a lot of, like I say, I'm 73 years old and just do a lot of stuff around the ranch here. Don't have any cattle or horses anymore. And so I do a lot of research on here. Hell, I've studied more on the computer now than I ever did in high school or college. But there's a bunch of those brokers up there right now that are shorting this thing and promoting this all the way up. And when they get up to where they think they can make another $1 trillion or so, they're going to crash this market. And a lot of these people that's got this silver is paying, and gold or paid astronomical prices for it, are going to be caught with their pants down. And another thing people haven't given a thought to, okay, you go buy a silver bar or a gold bar, and you want to go buy groceries with it when they open back up, who's going to be able to take it? Ain't nobody going to be able to handle that. I mean, they're not going to do nothing to be able to do nothing with it. I was in on a conference here, it's been 6-8 months ago, and the guy said there's two things you ought to be buying, and that's lead and land.
That's right.
And that's
absolutely
both.
Right. I've always said that brass and lead are two precious metals that will enable you to get the silver and gold if you ever need to, you know. So I mean, people are they're being suckered into this gold and silver deal, and then there's another one out there being promoted big time right now, and that's a Iraqi dinar. And you're absolutely right. And I'll be honest with you. You're right. Soil, that's a very, very, anything tangible that you can actually live with or live off of, that's the big thing. And to me, that's, I don't know, it's common sense, to me, that's really preparing, truly, and hedging your bets against what could come. To me, food is a much more sound investment. Bullets are a much more sound investment. Land is a much more sound investment, because you can't eat gold, you can't drink gold. Well, you can try, but boy, it's going to hurt on your hind end going out, and furthermore, it's just there's absolutely no value to it whatsoever outside of it's shiny.
Yeah, but that goes right back to the average guys, just as greedy as some of those on Wall Street, and they think, well, let's get in on that gold deal. Let's get in on that gold deal. We got to have some of that. We got to have some of that. And first thing you know, they're going to go down like the Titanic and wonder, well, what happened? I thought this thing was going to go to $20,000 an ounce or something. There's all kinds of stories out there. Now they say gold's going to go to somewhere in the neighborhood of $18,000 to $20,000 an ounce, and silver's going to go $6,000 an ounce. There is no justification for it. It's totally asinine. They're totally propping these people on Wall Street doing the same thing with that they did from 2004 on about the loans and making these loans that are just too good to be true. Guess what? They were.
Yeah, they were, and they'll always find a way, and there's always a scheme, and you're right about the Griff said it best, that they'll always find a way. They'll weasel their way out somehow. They've done it in the past. They'll do it again if we let them do it.
They're in control. We don't know. The average guy don't know what's going on up there on Wall Street, but you go back and watch Wall Street and Wall Street 2, and it's exactly what has happened.
Yep.
They always make us a movie about what's going to go on. Hell, go come back to Wizard of Oz. It was if you go back and watch that, it was a deal. In The Matrix and all those movies. I don't know whether they're, of course, I assume probably you got to guess that probably Wall Street's promoting that deal so they always say they're going to tell us what they're going to do ahead of time, and they do.
Yep, absolutely right. They do. It's almost like a bad movie where the villain always does that, They always
they know exactly what they're doing, and they just do it over and over again. And I'm glad to hear what you said about that S510, because I've got a bunch of heirloom seeds bought and got them buried, and was going to plant me a big garden this year.
And you can do that. You can do that. As a matter of fact,
if they decide they want to come out here on this ranch and tell me I can't have a garden, I have to buy me a backhoe so I can cover up the evidence.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's nothing like that. As a matter of fact, I think you have to be in the market of selling these things. Like you grow crops for a living, and the minimum income that you have to derive from that. It's actually more towards these mega farms and things like that. So,
does it going to have effect on the farmers' markets that a lot of these little towns have?
I don't know.
Especially the senior citizens are too old to work, and so they grow them a garden and they bring their produce to town, and it's a whole lot better produce than you'll ever find in the grocery store, because they've been planting the same fields in Florida and South Texas and California. Let's just use one particular crop. Everybody likes tomatoes. They've been planting those same tomatoes in those same fields forever and ever and ever. The nutrients is totally depleted out of them.
Right.
But they're not after quality. They're after quantity.
That's right.
Tonnage.
When you take a look at it, Jim, the problems are not from the organic farmers or the natural farmers. The problems come from these mega farms and the cattle ranchers that have 50,000 head and are grinding up the bones and feeding it back to the cows. That kind of stuff where they engage in practices like that, where
there's none of that going on out here in this part of the world.
Right,
and
right.
It's just all a bunch of control and a bunch of joke. It's just like they claim they can't find these 13 million wetbacks, I call them, because I used to work a bunch of them back in the 70s and 80s. I don't know what they're calling them, something else now, illegal aliens or something. You know, they can't find any of them. Well, they found a cow that was born in Canada, grew up in a stall in Wisconsin or somewhere, and found out that she had mad cow disease. Well, if they can find that mad cow, let's give all these illegal aliens a cow, and then we can find them.
Sounds like a good plan, Jim, and thank you so much for the call. I'm going to go to Brian again in South Carolina. You're live on the air.
Hey, dang, I was trying to just, sometimes it gets aggravating trying to talk on the phone and talk on this computer at the same time. The question I have is, and if Joe, you and AC might know, could there be some technology out there that they need gold and only gold will work? You see what I'm saying? Watching this situation in Korea, you know, that guy in Korea is like some sort of a freak. He's got like a water slide, you know, in his backyard. And I'm talking about a real water slide. His son was educated in the United States, and he likes to wear high heel shoes while he watches the Atlanta Housewives or some show on TV I don't ever watch. But it just seems like people really want the price of oil and the price of gold to go up through the roof. And, you know, what Lindsey Williams said, remember 2 months ago, he's come out and he said it's going up, better be prepared now. And he wasn't telling people to duck, he was telling them to get ready. Well, this could be when they're making their move, because he said by the first of the year that crude oil was going to be up through the roof. And but on the gold, as the price goes up, so does the incentive to get out and find it. And so I don't know, is there a technology out there that uses gold that we might not know about, but that someone somewhere does, and that's why they want the price of gold up through the roof, so that people will have the incentive to find more deposits to satisfy the need. What do y'all think?
I mean, as far as on a conductivity standpoint, gold is very electrically conductive. But I mean, outside of that, I don't know. I mean, really, it
wouldn't have a use in electric cars.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be kind of impractical, if you know what I mean. So I would say yes, and then I would say no. The thing that they really want, especially with that, is the rare earth elements. You know, like your neodymium magnets and the things that they make batteries with, the circuitry, the stuff that you use to make computer parts and cell phones and all these new electronic gadgets all use rare earth elements. And there's a serious shortage of that because China's bought up like 80% of the world's mines with rare earth elements. So I mean that's the as far as metals are concerned, I just don't see gold being that big of a deal. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Griff?
No, I agree with you. It's just the desire for wealth. I think it's driving that.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree. And Brian, are you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
My final point on the gold is I have discovered a way, I'm doing some more research on it, that the average person can get in on this if it's something that you wanted to do. There's several companies that are offering stock that are basically speculators in the gold market, and one of them sounds pretty good. They already have a listing on NASDAQ. It wouldn't be inconceivable to see their stock go from a couple of bucks to $25, $30 a share, you know. And you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be able to go out and purchase a $1,500 ounce of gold and wait on it to hit $5,000. You know, things along that line are what I'm looking at as far as a way to make an investment in this and, you know, make some money off of it possibly.
You mean as far as like day trading or whatever?